Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome back to the action. It's our second semi-final in the Superbet Poland Darts Masters, coming to you live from the great city of Gliwice, Poland. Time to welcome back our players. Ladies and gentlemen, from England, a two-time European champion, the winner of 5 World Series titles, a world match play champion, and ladies and gentlemen, the former champion of the world voltage, Rob Cross. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back from Wales, the winner of 3 World Series titles, a 2-time World Series finals winner. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of 2 World Cups. He is the former champion of the world, the Iceman, Gerwyn.
The Iceman versus Voltage, with the winner to face the top seed Stephen Bunting in the final of the Poland Darts Masters. We are guaranteed a new name on the trophy. 2 years ago over in Warsaw, it was Michael van Gerwen who was imperious in taking the title. Luke Littler won it here in Gliwice last year, but his reign has been brought to a shuddering halt by the brilliance of the bullet Stephen Bunting. But whom will he face in the final? Rob Cross, just inside the top 10 in the world rankings, a seasoned veteran of these World Series events, 5 times a champion, 11 times he's been in the finals of these World Series tour events. But Gerwyn Price is similarly experienced. Were he to win this game, it would be a 9th final in these events. He's won 3 of them, and he's been very, very close. In fact, Rob Cross denied him one of those titles last year. They have been regular opponents on the World Series these last few years. In fact, they tend to meet each other a couple of times a year. 2023, it was 1 win each. 2024, it was 1 win each. This year, though, it's gone the way of Voltage, because he beat him in Copenhagen at the semi-final stages. He also beat him in Den Bosch in the Netherlands, also at the semi-final stages. So Gerwyn Price looking to hit back.
Yes, Dan, I'm not sure this particular version of Rob Cross, which we witnessed a week ago in New York, and then yesterday's match against Krzysztof Kachuk, where he averaged 85. He's averaged 88 in beating Van Gerwen. By contrast, the response from Gezi Price today in a 6-2 demolition job of Dobie, where he averaged in excess of 104. that version of Gezi Price causes Rob Cross a world of trouble.
We'll see.
36.
That version of Gerwyn Price was deadly on the doubles. It was 50%. Every single leg he won was on tops. Now, we know that Gerwyn Price has a very, very simple formula for this game, and it works. Score big, leave tops, hit tops.
It's that simple, Doug.
Yeah, it is that simple. Score big.
433.
Check out early.
Yeah.
And when he does that, the vast majority of the time, he wins titles of some description.
Yeah. Took him to a world title, took him to 3 Grand Slams, it's taken him to World Series finals titles. Oh, there's so much room. Of course, he found another double 16.
It was a rather understated 100 from Kirk Bevins. Oh, hello. Must be his favourite finish of all time.
432.
Won him the world title, of course. Double 16 for Gerwyn Price, not his favourite double. Neither is double 8s.
16.
And he can't hit it.
Robbie require 8.
He's probably a little annoyed that that ball with the first dart was so good, because he would have gone 42 tops.
Second leg, up the throw first. Game on.
You do wonder with Gerwyn Price sometimes if he might be better off just having 1 or 2 darts at tops than all 3 at double 16 and double 8. Particularly when you saw how he played earlier on this evening.
98.
You can't turn down those 3 darts at
No.
double 16. And there was a time in the early days of his career where he would go through all kinds of contortions to avoid that bit of the board. He actually became a major champion and won everything, got better by being more versatile and willing to go to those segments. But he still doesn't seem quite as deadly on those segments as he is tops and 10s.
And ultimately, if you don't like that portion of the board and you're not comfortable there, the belief's there, not there that you're going to hit it. It's just one of those things. I just didn't like any double. I could miss them all equally as well.
Quite the talent.
Well, Rob Cross is looking all right here after, well, what's been, to get him thus far, a real struggle.
140. Robbie require 167.
Some good stuff from him even yesterday, but the consistency wasn't there.
Yeah, Mark Wilson was spot on. It was feast or famine.
I'm not going to feast on the 167.
He's doing is he mocking Gezi Price? Look what I can do.
431.
And leaves that double 18, which is one of his go-to doubles. How about this for a setup shot?
436.
Fill it up for the 174 that would have left a 2-darter. But Rob Cross to back-to-back 13 darters. What a start from Voltage this is. He looks a completely different man from earlier.
Yes. Was the other one an imposter, Dan? A looky-likey. I think we've seen a Rob Cross looky-likey yesterday.
Cross appears to have woken up. Because, look, if Michael van Gerwen had been anything like his usual self earlier, Rob Cross would not be in this tournament.
437.
Fortunately, it's a slightly longer race here, so there'll be no panic button being pressed by Gerwyn Price quite yet, but if Rob Cross continues like this, it won't be far away. This is a remarkable turn of performance level.
Leaves the 129. One of those awkward shots. You'd rather have 130, really.
Well, you almost don't want to hit the treble because you've got to get another. It is one of those. It's a bit like 128, really. You hit the 54 and you think,
Well, he's got the treble. And he can't get the next one. You can see the deflation on his face.
Robbie required 98.
Treble 20, double 19. This is for an 11 darter, Dan. Is he going to? No, he's straight at it.
Oh, it was aggressive.
Yeah.
He should get credit for that, I guess. But ultimately, he doesn't get another dart at double in the visit.
Is it Pricey's turn for a 13-darter? Well, if this continues, Dan, this could be record-breaking.
Well, it's yet another leg for Gerwyn Price, one on tops, as all of his legs so far tonight have been. He didn't always hit it. He did miss it a couple of times, and he missed a couple of other doubles, one at the ball, one at double 10. But he was hitting it more than he was missing it. And if that formula, the basic recipe, score big, leave tops, if he gets going with that, Rob Cross has got a problem.
Right, treble 19, treble 18, 3 balls, and he's on top stack.
59.
Back comes Rob Cross.
82.
Erratic after dart 1.
This dull start to this fourth leg from Rob Cross, is this a sign of him regressing to the standards we've seen from him so far, or is it just a little blip?
He made a bright start against Michael. Well, they both played okay in the early exchanges, and then in the middle they had a real wobble, which included a 27-dart leg for Rob Cross, and then they both got a little bit better towards the back end.
Similar last night, wasn't it? There was good leg, really bad leg, and it feels like he gets stuck in a funk that he finds it difficult to get out of.
Yes.
He's not taken a very big bite out of that. Does leave the 130, which is makeable. Treble 19 for the Iceman.
Treble 16 would have left his beloved tops. For his love of tops, he has got 2 options. One of them, of course, is the 2 single 16s if he doesn't hit the 48, which he's going to do.
Gets one at tops and pins it, and there's a little yelp from Gerwyn Price.
I've not seen a great deal of emotion from him today. Now there will be some people on 72 say, well, why don't you go for the treble 12? If he hits a single, it's 20 in tops. Well, it'll be a blocker dart. Hence why he goes for the 16s.
His darts go into the ball.
Yeah, they stick right up, don't they? 20 in tops is a nightmare for Gezi. Should maybe have a chat with Darryl Gurney and get him to teach him how to throw a flatty. Or Luke Littler, of course, who's very adept at throwing the said flatty.
81.
Well, Cross's average has come tumbling down over the last 2.5 legs here.
Took 20-odd points off it.
96.
Just his entire demeanour going for it. He isn't as fired up as we used to see him, but it's not like he's just going through the motions and trudging his way through games, which, to be honest, we saw a little bit of last year. He is still focused. He is trying. He's just not quite as fiery. It's more a sort of controlled.
Yeah, I think he may have mellowed slightly, and I you know, when you are that hyped, the rise and falls and dumps of adrenaline must be hard to manage. Here we go, Dan.
Lead tops, hit tops, win legs. 3 out of 3 now for Gerwyn Price on that particular target. All 9 legs tonight, 1 on that target. It is such a simple recipe, it feels like it shouldn't be that easy.
Yeah, and when you're practicing, you sort of can gauge it and you go, right, I've got the line and length, and that's very much how Gezi plays the game. if that treble 20 lands in the 60 and it's in that kind of position, you almost feel like it's gonna be a max rather than a 140.
Well, this the last leg before the break in the middle of this game. Gerwyn Price will either lead 4-2 or will be level pegging at 3 apiece. And you'd probably say he deserves to lead Gerwyn Price. He threw the first leg of this one away. Rob Cross has been limited to just 3 darts at double so far in this game. And that's over 2 legs.
Case in point. Right back in this leg.
It was an awkward 1-2-3. Gerwyn Price isn't going to leave anything much better.
99. Robbie Rigor, 123.
66. Ooh. Double 9.
Good.
What a shot from Rob Cross. He's hanging on in there. Lightning quick start from Voltage. Went off the boil as Gerwyn Price took control. But it is 3 apiece at the break. First to 7 plays Stephen Bunting for the title here in Gliwice tonight. You can't split them. Rob Cross started brilliantly, then faded, then produced an excellent finish of 123, highest of the match, to level things up at 3 apiece when it looked like Gerwyn Price was taking control. He has not missed double top so far in this game. If he leaves it, he will fancy hitting it.
Yeah, and that's very much a theme of Gezi Price's game. If he starts missing, he tends to struggle throughout the match. Oh, Mr. Miyagi, if he'd have called it the chopsticks, of course.
Yeah, I think Mr. Miyagi got it first time as well. I remember the bit in the Karate Kid where he had about 9 goes at it. It would have been less impressive.
58.
Yeah, but if he starts hitting doubles like he's pinning them now, then like you've already touched on in that Chris Dobie game, 50% on the doubles, he was outstanding. Currently ticking along at nearly 43% at the moment,
100.
which is...
Well, he caught it and he let it go.
Catch and release. I'm not sure if he likes fishing, because that's very much a theme there, of course. PDC fishing not long after the match play, which will be on ITV4, of course.
140.
Was it Forest Rock the Boat, wasn't it?
You are, mate. I'll join in.
96.
Well, the fact that Rob Cross has stepped it up to be playing at this level in this game, whereas Gerwyn Price, we saw him play even better than this earlier on against Chris Dobie, might lead you to think that Price is more likely to carry this on. But we are talking about a former world champion and world match play champion, Rob Cross. This is one of the modern greats.
51.
Shouldn't be surprising if he pops in a world-class performance, even out of pretty much nowhere.
Yeah, that's what these
95.
superstars of our sport are capable of doing. They can, like you say, just pop something in from absolutely nowhere and produce. And as Dan has rightly informed you throughout this match, if he leaves tops, it's
10 legs won tonight, every single one of them on tops. It would be a bit silly, this, were it not for the fact we've seen him do it before. Maximum for Cross, his second of the match. That would have been number 4 for Price.
Yeah, he's at 10 in the tournament. Rob Cross, and this is a reflection of how off of his game he is. He's only at 4 in the entire tournament.
Yeah, he's had a few 170 plus scores, hasn't he?
A couple of
But
174s.
you're still expecting more than that.
96.
Price just keeping on his coattails in this leg.
$126.
Still on a finish, fortunately. Looking for at least 5 to leave 170, but much to the relief of the sponsors, Superbet, he's not left the 170. They ran out of big checks.
Now Price found himself on 132 in the very first leg of this game, and he made a mess of things. Does he stay there again? He does, but he doesn't get it. So single 17 to leave tops, and that basically says to Rob Cross, you'd better take the 111.
92.
So it might be I. And going 5-3 behind. Or are we going to see another big ton plus out? Well, we still can. 54 and ball.
Would have been a filthy way to do it.
79.
They hurt, but he couldn't get it done. Now Gerwyn Price, does the perfection continue? The streak is over. He cannot miss from there, surely. Yeah, finds it eventually. Still visit perfect. No panic, just control. And he now takes control of this semi-final.
Yeah, holds here. He's just one away from a matchup with Stephen Bunting in the final, who was ever so impressive against the defending champion, Luke Littler.
Rob Cross was 2-0 up in this game. He has lost 5 of the next 6 legs. And even if, when you're in the heat of battle, you're not quite aware of the pattern of how the legs have gone, you feel that.
Yeah, it's a force that you can feel. Yeah, the 3 legs he's won, they were back-to-back 13s, legs 1 and 2. And then the other leg he won, he took that incredible 1-2-3 out for 15.
Well, there you have it. Rob Cross, it'll start feeling like I've been up on that stage for quite a long time here, and I'm not hitting many winning doubles.
And in terms of performance, this is a huge improvement on anything we've seen from Rob Cross so far. He's still averaging over 96.
But limited to just 4 darts at double in this game.
It's very much a scoring average, isn't it?
98.
Well, double 13 and tops then.
I was wondering how he's going to get to tops. Might be the biggest, fattest single 10 you ever did see. He's not looking there, he's going to the 14, does he? Yeah, lovely dart.
Don't mind 24 either, does he?
Certainly doesn't. There we go, Gerwyn Price continues his march to the final here.
And evidence that he's not just limited to double top.
He is not a one-trick pony, is the Iceman. However, that one trick that he does use a lot is a very effective one.
Tonight he's an 11-trick pony, because 11 of his legs have been on tops. Just the solitary one leg on any other double.
93.
Is that the beginning of the end for Rob Cross, who, and credit to him, has tried to give it absolutely everything in this match. And that's a 5th 180 for Gerwyn Price.
And it drags his average up to 99, but it kind of feels a little bit better than that from the Iceman.
Will be if he hits another max.
100.
Sprinting to the finishing line here.
And a easy route to tops.
2-0 down. Not a trace of panic, not a trace of concern. Gerwyn Price just went about his business. Plan A. Hit tops, win games. And he has done that superbly here tonight in Gliwice. Price is through to another final on the World Series, and he will face the bullet Stephen Bunting in a repeat of our at the start of this year. The Bullet won that one, and he's the man at the top of the World Series rankings. But Gerwyn Price is starting to breathe down his neck and challenge him.